Hello, friends. Happy Thursday to you. We are back with episode 176 of the JRPG Report. My name is James Fisher, your humble host and guide to all the news and happenings in the week of JRPGs. It's been 8 days since our last podcast. Hope you're doing well. We've got some fun news to talk about on today's show, so let's get right into it. You notice the thumbnail for today's episode. We're going to be talking about some tales of Arise, and I was looking at the old calendar, and some new information popped up today, and I was like, guys, we are 6 weeks away from this game, and the hype train, it is getting into motion. They had the, what was it called today? They had a live stream going on today for about an hour. It showcased some various things, including the fishing element to the game, because what would a JRPG be without a fishing mini game? I'm always kind of on the fence about those things. I enjoy it in like the Trails games, but in some other ones it can be a little forced and just not as much fun as some of the other ones are. In particular, Trails got much better in Cold Steel. Well, in Sky, I couldn't catch a fish. By the time Cold Steel 1 gets around, it was easier to fish, I felt like. But like the button presses were pretty nonsensical. By the end of the series, they got it pretty down pat, and I enjoyed it. There's also, in this live stream, they went over the camping and cooking gameplay elements, and it looks like kind of an end of the day thing. You're setting up camp, and you can cook for your party that would set up various buffs, and I'm not exactly sure because they didn't really show that, but this is kind of what I'm feeling like is going to be the case is instead of cooking after a battle and after every battle, you'll cook and you'll get those effects for the day or until you camp again. The live stream did show off some more battle gameplay. In particular, this was shared at one point in time. We'll go over in just a second the owl gameplay. They also showed off what was called artifact gameplay, and then the costume premium pack slideshow. So if you've got one of the special editions, this is something that you can look forward to. I think it'll also be available for sale separately when the game launches. The Spirit of Adventure trailer, as they're calling it, kind of showed all those gameplay elements. Kind of gives more of a human side to some of the characters. When you initially kind of looked at this cast, they looked like a bit rigid and stiff, but as we've gotten to know them, it kind of looks like they loosened up quite a bit, maybe more as their friendship bonded, given a real human side to it. I don't know if I could be any more excited for a game. I think, just speaking personally, when I got the PlayStation 5 and knew that I was going to be experiencing this game to its fullest potential, that kind of ratcheted up even more. They did also share, if you're following us on our social media channels, either through Twitter or Facebook, JRPG Report, I shared another video, was in the article. There was an interview, but it was in Japanese, and there was also a short game break segment. I think it was showing off some of the camping, and it was also in Japanese, so couldn't really tell what all was going on there. That is, sometimes that's what we get, and we'll talk about that with a couple other videos later on. That's, when we first get these things, they're in Japanese, and we don't know exactly what's going on. Eventually, we do get some English, and it can kind of flesh out some things. Speaking of an English trailer, I think it was the day after our last podcast. We might have covered it normally, but there was the Renwell trailer for Tales of Arise. She is described as a mage who mainly relies on astral arts. Though casting takes time, her magic has a far reach. Again, the trailer definitely lends more of a human side to this character. She seems to be the last in line of mages from Donna. And as Shion actually says, like, it was something that she only heard of in stories. So she looks to be a pretty cool character, and seeing her in action, I wasn't, typically your mage kind of hangs out back in the background. You don't want her to get him or her hit, as they don't have a high HP. They can go down pretty quickly. Conversely, when I'm playing Tales games, I usually find that magic user enemy first and knock them out quickly. Otherwise, you could be in for a world of hurt. But she looks to be, obviously she wants to keep her distance, but she's also likes to get down in there and use her magic kind of up close, and even showed off some cool parrying and dodge abilities in this trailer. So I can kind of see myself perhaps wanting to use her a bit more in some of the fights. Typically when you play these games, you start off as the sword user, and you want to play them be cool. Like when I'm playing through Remake, it's hard not to want to play as Cloud and get in there and tussle it up. But once you get Aerith, she's a lot of fun to play with as well. So I like to switch it up, especially if you can switch on the fly like you can on some of these games. It can make for some pretty interesting gameplay. So you can see both the Renwell trailer and the Spirit of Adventure trailer if you'd like to get further hyped up for this upcoming ginormous JRPG experience. Don't have to wait too much longer, as we'll get it on September. Well, we get it on September the 10th. Our friends in Japan will get it the day before. I haven't shared this yet. I'm going to do it as soon as we wrap it up here. If you're watching this on the YouTube version, you are seeing it right now. And that is the Hootle trailer. I'm going to just call it that way, as not just going to be a mascot for this game, as it looks like this is also going to be the animal collecting tie-in game. We've seen it with I was going to say Meowth, but I believe that is a Pokemon character. The cats characters, you would collect them in the chests in Berseria and various things throughout the Tales games. Well, you're going to be collecting owls in this one, and Hootle will help you find some of them, as you can see in the trailer that's playing. And you'll collect them, and you'll eventually visit the Owl Forest. And of course, it would not be an Owl Forest without the Owl King there, and he wants to expand the kingdom. Finding more owls with Hootle, you will get unspecified rewards. We'll learn about those, I'm sure, pretty soon. But I think you'll have to use some audio cues. Maybe when Hootle starts acting up, you can know that one is in the area, and you'll have to collect them. I wish we got the a version that the special edition that's coming out in Europe, as there is the Hootle plush that comes with it. Looks like I believe they did one for Tipo as well back in the day with Exilia, and I wish I could have got my hands on those, as they look pretty awesome. But yeah, I've not heard too much negative about this one. The more you see this game, the more you realize that while there were some changes to it, it is going to be a complete and awesome Tales experience. And of course, if you are on the fence at all when this thing pops out, you can watch us stream each night on our YouTube channel and see for yourself if it lives up to the hype or not. If you don't already, make sure you're following us on our social channels, Facebook and Twitter, and of course subscribing to our YouTube channel, which you can see all the trailers that we talk about in today's podcast, as well as a few other ones that kind of don't necessarily make the mention here, but fun stuff in the world. We've got a growing community over there, and of course you'll be notified when we go on our live streams. About right now it's pushing past 10 o'clock each night, and I try to go for about 2 hours, sometimes a little less, sometimes a little bit more. Once school starts up, which, believe it or not, is actually next week for the kiddo, we're going to try to taper those back. I'd like to be 9:30 to 11:30. Right now, it's closer to 10 or 10:30, and then going to midnight, and sometimes a little bit past that. But if you are looking to tune in right now, we are getting close to the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake. I believe I'm at the top of the tower or I was getting close to the top of the tower, and then, some things go on there at Shinra HQ that all kinds of craziness. As soon as we wrap up this one, we're going straight into intermission, and I'm excited to see what happens with Yuffie and company. But on to our next stories. This was a release date bonanza week. Not only did Idea Factory get in on the action, but today, Koei Tecmo and Gust made their own announcement, and I think it's a pretty big one because it's unexpected. We've been talking about Blue Reflection Second Light for a while, and we knew that it was coming out October 21st in Japan for PS4 and Switch. Well, they are wasting no time. Obviously, it helps not having to do a dub for this game, but a few weeks later, at least as of right now, on November 9th, it's going to be heading to North America and Europe for PS4, Switch, and PC via Steam. So yeah, you're talking about, 2-3 weeks afterwards? And just speaking off the top of my head, I love this. We just found out about this game a few weeks ago, and it's ready to rock and roll. Now, there's something to be said about building up hype over a while. Maybe this is almost too small of a window to properly do that. But if you're asking me if I'd like to have a game, okay, let's talk about just one we know about now, Dragon Quest 12. It is 2021. We are not getting that game anytime soon. So if you're asking me if I'd like 3 or 4 years or 3 or 4 months in between announcement and product, well, I'm going to go with the shorter window every single time. Like I said, obviously there's no English dub or multi-language dubs to have to worry about. You can do things a lot quicker that way. This game, like I said, coming out on November the 9th. In North America, there is a limited edition, of course, that's exclusively through the NIS America online store. And it's going to set you back $129.99 of your pennies. You, of course, get the copy of the game, the exclusive B2 sized cloth poster, Academy Notebook styled photo album, Everyone's Memories album art book, 2 acrylic mini character charms, early distribution code for the special Ryza inspired costume. You knew that was coming. And the collector's box to hold it all in. Here is an overview of the game via Koei Tecmo. Blue Reflection Second Light follows the adventures of 3 students, Ao, Kokoro, and Yuki, who find themselves transported to a mysterious floating academy, searching for clues to find their way back home with only their names as memories. One day, a path leading to a new land appears, but when the 3 protagonists set off to unravel the mystery, they're met by a series of deadly monsters. By battling the fiendish creatures, they unlock unknown powers that only seem to deepen the cryptic nature of their surroundings. Throughout the adventure, the 3 friends cooperate and struggle to make their everyday life as rich and fun as possible. While spending each day trapped in this unknown world, the characters' true feelings and personalities will be revealed. As their bonds grow deeper, they require new strengths and abilities. Furthermore, not only will the protagonists be able to build their ideal academy through the game, but they will also be able to craft items together, and depending on the character combinations, the completed items' properties can change, even triggering special conversations. By deepening their friendships, the 3 students will eventually grow closer to the mystery of this world and find the reason why they lost their memories. Famed illustrator Mel Kashidi was once again spearheading the franchise's character designs. The richly detailed designs will inhabit both the upcoming Second Light video game as well as the Blue Reflection Ray anime series. You can see this announcement trailer with English subtitles. They've at least gone that far in the new announcement trailer. You can check that out, of course, on our YouTube channel. Up next, a trio of release dates from Idea Factory International. First up is the Switch version of Death End Request 2. And, well, they would just say that they will launch in 2022 in the West. Okay, sorry, that's not an actual release date, but a release window. This one is already available in the West for PlayStation 4 and PC that came out back in August of 2020. It's due out in 2021 in Japan, so sometime this year. They still don't have a firm release date on that either for the Switch, and will follow quickly thereafter in 2022. In the West, not exactly sure why this has taken so long to finally make its way, to the Switch in particular. But at least you know if you've been waiting on it, it is in fact coming. Mary Skelter Finale will launch for PlayStation 4 and Switch on September 30th in North America, the next day, October 1st. In Japan, those same Idea Factory International PR people announced it is the conclusion to the Mary Skelter trilogy. This one first came out back in Japan in November 2020. There is a limited edition that was announced for $104.99. With it, you get the game, collector's box, steel case cast, hardcover art book, 3-disc original soundtrack, hardcover novel box set with 3 novels, and exclusive trading cards. You can find this through Idea Factory International's online store. Links are in the articles that I shared on Facebook and Twitter. So if you've been patiently waiting, you can now finish up the trilogy with Mary Skelter Finale on, September 30th. Of course, there was this announcement trailer, which you are either watching now if you're watching this on YouTube, or you can check out on our YouTube channel. And in news that no doubt made Dalton's heart aflutter, we've been talking a while about the game known in Japan as Senran Ninja Taitsu Neptune Shago Tatsu no Koimen, which I luckily do not have to say anymore, as Idea Factory International will release Neptunia X Senran Kagura Ninja Wars. I still might have messed up 1 or 2 of those words, but I did a lot better. It'll come out for PlayStation 4 in 2021. In the West, pre-orders are available now via the Idea Factory online store. The standard edition is only going to set you back $49.99. There is a limited edition as well. It is yet to be priced. Not even an image to go along with this. I'm checking out the link right now, and there's still not even what that limited edition is going to be. So I guess it's kind of hard to price something if you don't even know what is in the box. Maybe with the game only being $49, the limited edition might be a little bit cheaper. We will have to wait and see. This game, I think it sounds pretty interesting. As we mentioned, there's lots of bouncing going on in this game, but it does look like a fun little ninja arts game. You kind of know what you're getting with these Neptunia games, and this looks to be even more so of it. A definite fast-paced, pretty much action game with some RPG elements to it. There is a announcement trailer for this one with the new logo and artwork to it. But definitely looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be fun. And once I get a firm release date on it, I'll pass it along to you guys. Quickly, there was what's the opposite of release date? And that's a delay. Bandai Namco and developer Witchcraft announced that Digimon Survive, which was supposed to come out sometime this year, has been pushed back to just sometime in 2022. This was via the latest financial report. When it does come out, it will go to PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Actually, it does say even I guess worse than 2022. It's at year 2022, quarter 3 and beyond. So that would indicate the earliest this game is coming out is fall of 2022. Well, I'm not sure. That's financial stuff. I don't want to get into what that exactly means, but it's not coming out for a while. If you were lucky enough to have snagged a PlayStation 5, you are one of 10 million people that Sony has announced that they have shipped 10 million units worldwide as of July 18th. Unfortunately, some of those were quickly scooped up by scalpers who have hopefully learned their lesson. By now, they're starting to get a little bit more readily available. It was also announced that there is a new patch coming up for it very soon, and I believe there was a whole list of things that were going to be included in it. One of those is the ability to add some much needed SSD storage to it, as I believe the standard one was 500 gigabytes, which, used to be a decent amount, but if you're going to put any amount of actual game storage on there, it's going to fill up pretty quickly. On to other JRPG news. There was an interesting new trailer for Monarch that came out that introduced the game's systems. The trailer included exploring the mist-covered school, the flow of strategic turn-based command battles, ego examinations, fiend customization, and more, all narrated by the character voice for Chio. Unfortunately, this was in Japanese. So while you could get a look at stuff that was going on in it, no subtitles and no idea really what was going on. I think it was like 8 minutes long too. So a good look at things for sure, but would really be nice if we could get some sort of English coming out here fairly soon. But yeah, not a bad thing to get this, but we could use some context to go along with it. Monarch is due out for PlayStation 5, PS4, and Switch on October 14th in Japan, and early 2022 in North America and Europe. If you're interested in seeing what we're talking about, you can see that over on our YouTube channel, along with the launch trailer for Neo, The World Ends With You. It is available now for PS4 and Switch worldwide, and sometime later this summer, it is supposed to be coming to PC via the Epic's Game Store. I'm pretty sure you know exactly what's going on with this one. There's even the demo, if you'd like to see for yourself what it is. The reception has been pretty good for this one. It sounds like it is a faithful sequel and welcoming to both old fans and new ones alike. But as with almost every game, you gotta have that launch trailer to commemorate it. An upcoming collaboration with Monster Hunter Rise. There will be a crossover event, or at least themed that way, with Okami. These are both Capcom franchises, so it's not that surprising. There was a trailer that went along with it and showing off. Received the Palamute layered armor set Ami costume, which is themed after Akami's Maretsu. I probably did not say that correctly. I'm sorry. This will launch for Monster Hunter Rise starting July 30th. The company announced, of course, Monster Hunter Rise is available for Switch and coming out in early 2022 for PC. It looks pretty cool, I gotta be honest. I loved Okami back in the day for my PlayStation 2. It's hard to believe it's been that long since that game came out, but definitely a faithful recreation of that. I had a story, and I'd seem to have lost it somehow, that Capcom, in no small part to the success of Monster Hunter and maybe some of the Resident Evil Village, they Q1 of 2021, I believe it was either Q1, it was one of the quarters this year, either Q1 or Q2, was their best quarter ever. I mean, that's pretty cool, right? I mean, the company's been around for a while, making great games for a long time, so it's good to see them having success, even with all the challenges that we have faced in this past, almost year and a half. So they've been doing quite well. Monster Hunter's been doing well. Resident Evil Village did quite well. Maybe one day that'll translate back more into some classic JRPGs for us, but we'll see. I think they've kind of found their niche in the Monster Hunter world. There was an interesting story that popped up a few days before it, but it turned out not to be true. It was kind of uncertain if Near Reincarnation was going to actually come out on July the 28th or not. It did. I shared the story, but the day before they were there was some speculation that it might get pushed back, but no, it is out, and it is available for the world to enjoy. There was that Nier Automata crossover event going on it. I've not downloaded this game yet, so it just came out yesterday, but I might get a chance to. I've been trying to stay off the phone and not play games on it, just play on my PS5 when I get the chance, but we'll have to wait and see if that one's worth picking up or not. There was an interesting story that when we get the Caligula Effect 2, it's going to have a New Game Plus feature. Love that in games. Gotta love it. Players will be able to carry over their data from the initial playthrough into New Game Plus. Additionally, players can rematch with the various musicians encountered in the game. However, these encounters will be more challenging. If you can defeat these more challenging versions, you can receive rare stigma. Players will also have access to the Tower of Prometheus, a more challenging dungeon which features a total of 100 levels and its own set of challenges. Players will not be able to upgrade or change equipment in the dungeon. Additionally, they will not be able to take any items with them. Man, that's rough. Regarding the New Game Plus feature, various statuses will carry over on to the main game. This includes the personality type of the protagonist, money, items, and stigma the players acquired throughout the game. The similar feature was available in the first one. The Caligula Effect 2 will release on October 19th in North America, October 22nd in Europe, and will be available for PS4 and Switch. We got two more stories for you guys. It was kind of, there was an interview done with Yoshi P, the producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV, and he was kind of talking about his role with 16. So basically he was just saying like he stays out of the recording process, but he was talking about it that he doesn't go to recording sessions as it might kind of confuse the voice actors. He says he's never been to one for 14. He's not going to go to the ones for 16 since he's not the one writing the story. He says, quote, during story meetings, like to say my opinions. Like I think lines should be changed. He says, but the team is doing a good job. And it was announced this time English recording is going first, which I thought was very interesting. And I can't recall ever hearing anything like this for a Japanese-made game. He says they have been focusing on using British English, which I think fits the vibe perfectly for what we've seen so far for 16. I think it'll be very well done. It kind of matches up with some of the older, not Ultima style or Dragon Quest British, but, just that flavor to it. It kind of has that look to it. The main character's name's Clive, and that's definitely British. So he says we have to record facial movements. We can't possibly hand animate every cut of a scene. So this time we're doing full facial motion captures and then adding voices to that. Those works are not entirely cutscenes though. So this is one of the reasons why English version is ahead of others. We're going to start Japanese version soon. This follows the comment recently that the voice recording was in its final stages. Take that what it's will. It doesn't necessarily sound like it's in its final ones since they've not even done Japanese yet. However, I think it's going well. I still have no confidence that this game is coming out that soon. I will have a lot more confidence after Tokyo Game Show, I think. So if we see it and we see some improvements on it, then it is, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be there, which would tend to sound like this game's going to be maybe a ways away. Are we going to see Remake Part 2 first? That would be nice as I'm playing through it again. It got me thinking all about when that one's finally coming. We'll just have to, sadly, wait and see. If you like what you're hearing today, if you like what we're doing over on YouTube and making all the trailers available to you as they pop up, if you'd like to hear more from this podcast, including a possible return of Sunday specials, I'm kind of weighing all the options at this moment. one way that you could say, you know what, James, I really like what you're doing, and I'd love to hear some more of it. So here is monthly support. You can do that either directly through the Anchor app, which is honestly, it might be the best way. I do get a higher percentage of that take. Actually, I think I get all of it, as opposed to like Patreon, but I want to be available for however you want to do that. Follow the links below. Things that you can do through the Anchor app directly. You can do it through Patreon. We have some different levels over there as well. Or if you're super awesome and you just want to do a one-time gift, we have PayPal as well. We've had a couple fine folks do that here, and really appreciate it. I really do. Brandon really stepped up and helped out quite a bit with that. You can do that through jamesfisherproductions@gmail.com. But yeah, all the links are below. And if I see a surge and a swell in support that says, hey, I'd like to hear more, I think we could probably make the Sundays come back. I kind of put it off as Anchor wasn't giving me any ad monies anymore, so I kind of had to cut that back. But school's getting back in. I might have a little bit more free time to do some stuff like that. If you guys kind of step up on your end, I can step up on mine. One final story. I didn't get to hear this, as I'll be honest, I don't really care that much about the Olympics. I think I used to be more into it, and it's just kind of one of those things that's kind of fallen off. Obviously, it's like, it's a weird year. It's a weird Olympics. But one of the coolest things maybe ever at Olympics history was, and maybe you guys saw this, that they played JRPG and Japanese video game music at the opening ceremonies, which, I mean, that's awesome. They said that there were selections from Chrono Trigger, the Tales of series, Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, even some non-JRPGs like Ace Combat and Gradius were included. Some of the track, there's a full track list in the article that I was linking, but the Olympus Coliseum from Kingdom Hearts, Proof of Hero from Monster Hunter, and Victory Fanfare from Final Fantasy were some of the tracks that were included. I heard it was a pretty amazing moment. Kind of wish I would have saw it live, but like I said, it's just one of those things that just didn't really, I don't know, just not really feeling it this year. And I got a lot of other things to focus on. We were actually on vacation at the time, our little mini vacation, the opening night. So that was the farthest thing. I was in the pool with the little one. I could care less about what was on television, Anyway, but that's it for this one. That'll put a bow on episode 176, JRPG Report. A little bit short this week. Had some fun things to talk about, but not a ton. That's the way it goes sometimes. Like us on our socials, follow us for stories every day. New videos on our YouTube channel. All those links are below. We'll catch you guys back here again, same time next Thursday. My name is James Fisher. Until we talk again, get back out there and level up.